You're listening to Independent TV 7. Kindly click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Independent TV 7. Also, don't forget to click the bell icon to get more notification. Thanks for watching. Meanwhile, Ned Nwoko has hit the social media, and now this is coming from Ned Nwoko as ex-lawmaker. Ned Nwoko writes Nigeria's Attorney General Malami lambasted governors for opposing controversial 58 billion naira payment to him. Nwoko accused the governors of alleged diversion of a staggering United States $142 million, which is 58 billion naira, which accrued to him as part of judgment debts on excess deductions from the local government. Ned Nwoko, one of government's 6 creditors, controversial owed $418 million debt associated with the Paris Club refund, has criticized the Nigerian Governors Forum a recent protest letter against the payment of the money. Ned Nwoko accused the governor of allegedly diverting of a staggering $142 million, which is 58 billion naira, which accrued to him as part of judgment debts on excess deduction from the local government. He said the amount was part of the US $350 million earlier approved by the Nigerian government for his firm, Linas International Limited, as consultancy payment on Paris Club refunds to local government areas. Nwoko said there was no justification to continue to withhold the payment of his $142 million share of the money. The NGF had, in a recent submission, queried Finance Minister Zainab Ahmed for insinuating or issuing promissory notes in favor of judgment creditors or consultants relating to Paris and London club refunds. The governors claimed that President Muhammadu Buhari approved the payment of the $418 million Paris Club judgment debt despite pending court cases. The NGF, through its lawyer, Chief Femi Falana, SAN, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, stressed that the minister ought to have stayed the execution of judgment connected with payment of legal and consultancy fees arising from London Club debt buyback and London Club debt exit payment, which is the alleged fulcrum of the judgment of the Federal High Court, Abuja, in suit number FHC ABJ/CS/130/13. Linas International Limited and ORSV, the Federal Government of Nigeria and ORS, but in a counter letter dated September 6, 2021 to the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, and occupied to the Minister of Finance through his team of lawyers. Nwoko argued that it is dishonest, deceitful, and malicious for the governors to pretend that it is wrong to obey court orders. It is always easy to forget that people had paid back to EFCC, Economic Financial Crimes Commission, the monies paid to them without justification. EFCC has investigated and issued 3 different reports on the involvement of Ned Nwoko with respect to Paris Club refunds, and all the investigations exonerated him. He continued, "We cannot fail to remind you, sir, that the criminal first investigation on the role of Ned Nwoko and Linas International Limited with Paris Club refund claims was at your instructions to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) in 2016. Also following that first investigation, 2 subsequent investigations were carried out by the EFCC, and all affirmed the pivotal roles of Ned Nwoko and Linas International Limited in the consultancy for the Paris Club reforms." The lawyers pointed out that by the terms of engagement, Nwoko spent his funds to execute the assignment on the clear condition that where no money was recovered, there was no liability to the local and state government, NGF and ALCON. They explained that the former lawmaker bore the entire risk and loss while he engaged other professionals and in some cases borrowed through private arrangements to achieve the objective. The letter further stated that the state and local governments never had confidence in the chance of success of this consultancy and will not stake their money to fund the inherent cost therein. Hence, they agreed to the percentages now being enforced and left the consultants to sink or swim. The consultants having succeeded, the state and local government have taken the benefits, and in what is becoming habitual of politicians at state and local government levels, they do not desire to pay in accordance with agreement. It bears reiteration under the prevailing atmosphere of misinformation to recall that the present payments are part of a broad policy initiative of the federal government to liquidate judgment debts, which are segmented into categories A, B, and C. The present payment falls into category A for judgment debts of state and local government which were arrived at through the due process of the law. The lawyers added that categories B and C comprises of judgment debts against ministry departments and MDAs worth approximately United States $700 million. Wow, these people will be mentioning or claiming that they are, subjected to US dollar. They are, so corrupt to the extent that this one will bring money, the other one will want to sit on it. And this money and these funds they are even talking about, how come they generated the funds? Well, it has been said that Ned Nwoko is suing Malami because Malami has been sitting on so many, money or finances that does not really belong to him. That's the same way and the same vein that the state government, the state governors all over the 36 states is accusing Malami sitting on taxpayers' money, especially the stamp duty charge. So over 160 billion naira is being allegedly, embezzled by this same called Malami. Well, while commending the federal government for the bold policy initiative to liquidate the judgment debts, Ned Nwoko legal team averred that it was common knowledge that the state and local governments have become a graveyard of so many companies, businesses and upstart ventures who are lured into rendering services for which they take benefits and refuse to pay. The lawyers recall that their client gave substantial concessions to the NGF and discounted the sum he is entitled to in the judgment being enforced. Furthermore, they drew attention to the fact that the acceptance of promissory notes instead of direct cash payment, as was done for the state and local governments in the refunds, result to a further loss of value by our clients. If our clients and perhaps other consultants were paid simultaneously with the refunds, which is the responsible thing to do, there would have been no need for the several lawsuits which are now being enforced and for which the federal government and the Federal Ministry of Finance is being vilified, they stated. The lawyers argued the facts and circumstances of the case and with respect to suit number FHC/ABJ/CS/130/2013 is entirely different from local government funds coming from allocations to the Federation account. The funds involved in this case were judgment sums recovered from the federal government by the Linas International Limited in favor of local governments. Wow, can you see that these people are so very, very corrupt? They are mentioning USD over millions of dollars, attributed to either Linas or Malami, nor Ned Nwoko.